Hello and welcome to the Marvel vs. DC podcast. I'm Patrick Smith.
I'm Peter Harrison.
And it's time for us to talk about Suicide Squad. Did we like the movie? Did we not like the movie? We did not like this movie. More coming up now.
Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you?
Okay, so let's jump straight into this. We've purposely took a couple of days before doing this review. Explain why.
Okay, so this film basically gave us a bit of a hangover. We didn't know how to feel about it. We didn't know what was going on. So obviously we needed to hear a few outside perspectives.
Yeah.
Some of them helpful, some of them not so much.
We wanted to compose ourselves because this is one of those films that it's I don't like using the term divisive for this film because that made sense for BVS because some of the
it's
fans
still kind of divisive, but the divide is really low.
Yes, but like what pisses me off is that I feel like it's the wrong term in the sense that even those who like this film, they immediately make concessions. You'll hear them say, "I like this movie. I thought it was fun, but okay, this didn't make sense." But that's what I mean. That like. This is a film that we really wanted to delve into big time. So, and we've let other people release their reviews and stuff. I think we were kind of on the money when we first left the cinema because.
Okay. Here's a quick setup. Before we went in, it was me, Paddy, and our roommate Andy.
Yes.
The dude eats Chinese, and so we decided to go and get a quick drink because we had a fair few minutes to go and watch it.
Fuck yeah.
So we all go in and. Suddenly Andy goes, I don't know if it's going to be good. And then we start thinking, what if it isn't good? And then we make a list of what were our most disappointing moments going into the cinema. Mine was Prometheus, if I recall, and yours was... I've forgotten what it was.
One of my disappointing ones, I think it was probably the Hobbit films.
Yeah.
The Hobbit films was a big disappointment for me.
So now that we know that it's the Hobbit and Prometheus, was it as disappointing as those? Yeah.
Yeah. Ultimately, I mean, we did like. Let's not overgloss the fact that going into this film though, we were so pumped for it. Like on the walk down to the pictures and all that shit. We were pumped. We kept on saying, but like think about this compared to the Rotten Tomatoes. We were talking about like fuck the Rotten Tomatoes system because it's a stupid system anyway, which it is.
Yeah.
But when you get to see the film, suddenly all of this DC controversy backlash kind of it makes you feel a bit fucking cold inside because the amount of people the people who wanted to take down Rotten Tomatoes. And then you look at like some of the fans who are now like trying to sue that guy in Scotland who wants to sue Warner Brothers because of. Showing all that Joker footage in the trailers and then not giving us any real Joker. Like you can't even really judge his performance that much because there's not enough to really to formulate an opinion. But yeah, like going into it though, we were optimistic and coming out, it made me feel worse because there are so many fans who are accepting this and it's upsetting me because the standard should be higher for great comic book ideas like this. If I were to pick what upset me the most about this film, it's the fact that, like we were saying the other day, the trailers, they give you this sense that it's a film that's going to be controversial. It's a film that's going to try and break boundaries or do something new.
Yeah, it's going to go against the norm and, break the suspension. But this is the most safe superhero film.
Safe. It's fucking... I mean, like David Ayers, remember he tweeted when the final cut was ready of the film, like a month or two ago. I remember he put out a tweet or an Instagram post saying... Suicide Squad finally completed, like nothing you've ever seen, or like nothing out there. It was something like that. And I'm sorry, but this film looks like everything out there to me. Maybe not looks like it. I mean, the actual editing, like the purple and green transitions they use a lot with the Joker, not that I was a fan of them, they are actually different. I don't remember a film when that was used, maybe Blueberry fucking Nights or something. But, like, in general, the film, the dialogue, the structure, the third act is entirely like a lot of films out there, like Fantastic Four. And I would argue that, like Fantastic Four, this film as well just has a first act and a third act. There is no second act. When we get to that third act break of, and I know I don't want to jump into these parts of the show immediately, but when you get to that break of the bar scene, it doesn't add up. It's not worthy. You don't get any character development ultimately from that scene. none from El Diablo, regardless of the story, because once again, it's very quickly put together and you don't get to feel it. Along with him being like, I'm not gonna lose another family, Cholo, at the end, like, family. You've known these douches for 6 hours. You've pretty much took the piss out of them and hated them most of the time. But now suddenly they're your family, Cholo. Like, I'm sorry, that's just stupid. Like let's, you know what? Shall we begin with what we liked about the film? Let's begin.
Yeah, let's go a bit different. All right. Okay.
What did you take away from this film that you were like, at least that was good, or that was satisfactory?
Amanda Waller.
Oh, okay.
Like, Viola Davis, I didn't know that much about it. Like, I haven't really seen that much with her in it. But when I saw her in the trailers, I thought, well, she looks the part.
Yeah.
And she fucking plays the part. Like, even if you have problems with the third act and how nonsensical it can really fucking be, beforehand, she's still intimidating. She's still, that in charge character who, unlike DC like characters that usually like buff or sexy, she's just like a sort of middle-aged woman who's just in this position of being a fucking dictator, and it's fucking awesome.
I'm glad they didn't sex her up a bit more like the New 52. They made that she's perfectly cast and she's great. One of my favorite lines in the film was when Rick Flag is he has that scene with her where he's like, why do you want these people? Why do you want these psychopaths? I can put together a team that'll do whatever you want, kind of thing. And she says to him, like, the mafia, did something on the docks during World War II to keep the germs out or whatever the fuck. Yeah. And he's like, this isn't World War II. And she says, no,
this is World War III.
That's like, during the first act. During the first act, like, that moment, up until then, you're still kind of going along with things. And you're like, well, you know what, there's enough here to make me think the second step and the third step will correct this and make it an ultimately enjoyable and not confusing experience for me. And then it all falls apart. Like, I agree with you, Amanda Waller's perfectly cast, she's got some great lines, but the story and the film itself fail her ultimately, because in the third act it fucks her character up completely. When she gets taken, it's boring at that point, when it becomes one of those moments when on the rooftop when it's like, okay, what helicopter is going to succeed in this fucking movie? Which of these helicopters are, standard good stuff from the Pentagon that are actually going to survive longer than 2 minutes in the air? Because I'm sorry, every helicopter, within 30 seconds, it's fucking down. Sometimes they don't even explain it. When the Suicide Squad helicopter goes down, it's by machine gun fire. Where did it come from? They never tell you.
Like, like, the funny thing is that the second time it happens, it's because Incubus fucking hits it. Yeah. And I can kind of get it, superhero, whatever. But the first time it happens, it's fucking machine guns. Like,
machine guns?
Is there an RPG?
No RPG. It's just machine guns. The RPG is for the helicopter that takes down the Joker. Which is understandable, because Amanda's like, take that motherfucker down. And also in that scene, when that helicopter goes down, the Joker's one. I remember we were talking about this the other day. Griggs, played by Ike Barinholtz, in my opinion, probably one of the best performances in the film, and the one that I wanted to see more of, because every scene he was on, he kind of made like a lot of those A-list actors look overpaid and like they weren't doing enough, because Ike Barinholtz is, he's in a lot of comedies like Neighbours and shit like that, and he's always funny. He's great like side comic relief. In this film, from the beginning, when like his first line is like, you ain't got no friends, Floyd, kind of thing, and he gives the description of what loaf is. From there, and then when he's in the meat place, when the Joker meets him, and he turns to that guy who's chopping the meat, and he's like, hey, you're killing it, man. Like, he's got good comic timing. He, every time, was like, I was like, oh, okay, you're bringing something to this story. And then what happens in that Joker helicopter is that Griggs, the character, apparently dies. I had no idea. Like, we didn't realise, because it's
apparently
so fast.
He dies in the first plane crash, and No,
in the helicopter. The Joker helicopter.
Oh, it was in the Joker helicopter?
Apparently that's when he dies. Like,
really?
It was...
I thought it was the first one.
No, what show was it the day that told me about this? It may have been a Collider show that like said it, and I was like, whoa, that happened. Yeah. It turns out it did. Griggs died in that moment, but I didn't know. I thought that he just disappeared in the rest of the movie, and it made sense because of how fucking poorly put together this film ultimately was.
Yeah, from what you can gather, that's one of the main problems of this film. You're not too sure what is going on. Like, motivations aren't explained. Characters are hastily given exposition on, You know, Katana has a soul that can has a soul-stealing samurai sword.
Yeah, when she gets on, I mean, it's like the worst way to end like a sequence. Like you've got 3 songs have just played in the vicinity of like 2 minutes. White Stripes, Seven Nation Army for the army guys, then followed immediately by like Eminem.
No, like the first act.
And then straight after that, Spirit and this guy in the helicopter, and that's when Katana gets on the helicopter, and this film truly shows you how it was made in 6 weeks, because you see Rick Flag just go, by the way, this is Katana, I'd advise you don't get killed by her because her sword traps the souls of its victims. What the fuck? What? Really? That's her introduction. Everyone else gets a dossier moment but Katana.
To be fair, that wasn't the part where I started shouting what. It's the second time when it's revealed that her husband's soul is in the sword.
Yes.
And it's just like, yeah, it harbors the soul of her husband.
Yes. Once again, instead of
this
film is the complete opposite of show not tell. Like it's like once again, it amazes me how stupid that they didn't see how stupid this was. The fact that the first time it's Rick Flag giving her the exposition, and then the second time it's Rick Flag again, like where she's in the corner crying at the sword and they're all looking at her, and Rick Flag's like, yeah, by the way, here's what's going down. Like that's not a movie. That's just sequences.
Just FYI. That's also her husband, yo.
I honestly, I don't know, I can't remember whether it was Chris Stugman who made this opinion, but someone said, I like this, it really isn't a movie, it's just that it's sequences that don't add up.
Things just happen.
Put together, and I think that that's a perfect way to describe why we consider this a bad film. Yeah. Because ultimately, it isn't a film, it doesn't have a beginning, middle, and end that's concise enough to be considered cinema, in my opinion. Anyway, poor attempt, but yeah, another good thing. Yeah,
another good thing. The cast. This cast was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Like, if they were given better, stuff to work with, like a better script, better editing.
Yeah.
I think they could have pulled it off. Like, Jay Courtney surprisingly had me giggling at times.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, I suppose I shouldn't have said overpaid before, because referring to the actual Suicide Squad, I've watched this team do a different mission. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I think maybe David Ayers was the right guy for it, and 6 weeks writing the script and all the shit that he faced in the editing room was what fucked it up. But, ultimately the team he put together was fine. They just didn't get enough at all. Like, even the good things that you can look at, like Harley Quinn's performance, Margot Robbie's performance, I liked it as Harley Quinn. I just felt like there were too many moments that were supposed to be scene-stealing moments, but weren't. They gave her a lot of sloppy dialogue. This film really suffers from dialogue and structure. And yeah, so it's not all of the moments with Harley Quinn land, but it makes me think that with a better script, with more time, and Warner Brothers not fucking interjecting into every single film and fucking them up, would make this character good. And that in turn, you can look at that as sort of a positive.
You disagree. I do not like this
Harley
Quinn. I do not like this Harley Quinn.
Why not?
Because she's not crazy. She's a bubbly girl who thinks she's crazy, but she is not fucking crazy.
They don't give her enough moments to actually just be like, they don't give her enough moments to be crazy like Harley should be. But also, I mean, it's every good thing you can say about this film suddenly becomes because even with Harley Quinn, we have to address the fact that the character wasn't well handled. Like, they obviously changed in the last minute. The relationship initially was just like it should have been in the animated series in the comics, where it's Joker does not really love Harley Quinn.
She's a means to an end.
Yeah, ultimately maybe he does like having her around and he gets lost without her, but it's supposed to be an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
She keeps coming back, battered wife syndrome, and I understand a lot of feminists don't want to see that in a movie, but the problem is that's the story. Yeah. So even if it's a female character that you don't like, it's not supposed to be. That's the point. But they changed the relationship in obviously the reshoots and the final edit to make it so that Joker and Harley both love each other and both depend on each other.
They're crazy together.
Doesn't really work.
That's not good.
I get it. They were trying to make it so that they could use the breakup later on, but this film needed that to actually be a film, like a whole film. And also you have Amanda Waller at one point with the voiceover when Joker and Harley are in the car driving away from Batman, where she says she's crazier than him. And I was like,
Is she?
What? Like, Harley Quinn's crazier than the Joker now. Like, I mean, it just didn't work. Like, that would have worked for me if it was the case that she loves him no matter what, and he treats her like shit. Like, all these sequences that we've seen brief glimpses of online, like, where he slaps her and because she's pointing the gun at him and stuff, and he just kills a trucker. Like, that looked like a great overall scene, but what do we get in this movie? Instead of actually getting the scene, they give you literally about a couple milliseconds of Joker with the gun in his face, with purple and green mashed up fucking editing, that just cuts into a new scene once the car chase begins. That's all you get.
Yeah, and that completely ruins kind of the enjoyment of the Joker, because...
Yeah, let's touch upon that.
Like, the best part of the Joker is that he's unpredictable. Like, when he does something, it's usually comes right the fuck out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And the way that it's so surprising, like in The Dark Knight, and even Tim Burton at times, it was like, whoa, this guy fucking means business.
Yeah.
But when you add a fucking editing, like, ding to incur, like, okay, audience, he's gonna go fucking nuts. It doesn't work, because the audience knows it's coming.
Yeah.
Like, when he's shooting, is it Common?
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Common comes into this fucking club, and, you know, the Joker comes in, is there, and he's watching Harley doing a seductive dance and everything, and, you know, all of a sudden he's just like, do you like my girl? Here's my girl. And then he's instantly like, I don't know, this seems a bit off. Common's being a self-respecting dude who's like, hey, it's your girl, you know, I don't really care. And then he just shoots him for no fucking reason.
Yeah, I mean, like
there's no fucking build-up whatsoever. It's just a scene that happens that ends with someone dying.
Yes, I mean, like, it's... Look, if your initial, and this is the initial Joker scene, I mean, you can say that there's a brief moment between him and Harley in the asylum at first, but it's not really a scene. It's two moments from scenes crushed together. They clearly had tons of dialogue. Those scenes were probably great, and they've turned them into music video footage.
Yeah.
The initial scene you rarely get with the Joker is that one between Common. Now, if I had to be pissed off with every black guy who ever said that my girlfriend was a bad bitch, I'd be a racist by now. Like, I'm sorry, like, bad bitch, like, that's that term that we say every once in a while comically and stuff. Like, Joker, don't kill people for calling Harley a bad bitch. You know what he means? He means that she is a good hoe. She is, yes.
This is how white Joker is, he can't understand.
This is exactly, white Joker is not in touch with the Black Lives Matter movement. And if he's going to kill everyone that says he's got a bad bitch, that's a compliment. Common's an Oscar winner, he's saying that out of love. But, I mean, if the scene itself...
He's saying this out of love, man.
The scene itself also does not make sense on its own, because you can tell that things have been cut still.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so he calls her a bad bitch, and immediately Joker's like, and wants to kill him, I guess. And so he gets Harley over, Harley comes over, Harley gets on Common, and Common's like, oh shit, awesome. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And you know, she's like, do you like me? And all that shit. And then out of nowhere, just for no reason, it's suddenly, nah, that's your girl, Jay. You know, like, how did that happen? Because suddenly, the Joker, when he's standing up and he says to him, like, look, and then he gives him that line, like, are you having fun? And, like, as soon as he says, look, he's standing up, and then we cut straight to Harley's sitting down and Joker's sitting down as well. Where's the bit where he's on his knees holding his hands like this? There's high-res pictures of that everywhere. They put it in Empire. Like, why on earth did they want to show us stills of everything that you were not going to see?
Yeah.
That's just...
Even in the trailer.
That is poor marketing. And I know technically I'm wrong in that regard, because the marketing completely succeeded.
Oh yeah, the marketing was going to succeed
yes,
anyway.
It succeeded, but it's not marketing that we will ever look back and be appreciative of, like Deadpool, because Deadpool's marketing was actually giving you a product that they were selling, whereas Suicide Squad suddenly become the Catholic League, and they're like, why don't we just sell them invisibility?
Yeah.
No, not game. If you're going to show us these bits of the movie, that's what we want to see. That's what. If we like a trailer so much because of the footage you show us, why is it then your answer is, how about we don't give them that footage?
Yeah.
Just stupid. But overall, the Joker had that. I mean, did you like it or not? I felt like there wasn't enough really to judge. I mean,
like obviously it's unfair to compare him to the other live action Jokers right now, because he's in a different position than he was in those films.
Uh-huh.
But even then, like, there needs to be something. And I was not getting anything. Like, this looked like a dude who was pretending to be the Joker.
Yeah,
Like, there were no honest-to-God standout moments with the Joker.
No, there wasn't. Like, I mean, as we said, after we saw the film, like, you look at Heath Ledger and you can be like, oh, the interrogation scene. You look at Jack Nicholson, you can be like, oh, the Dance with the Devil in the Pale Moonlight scene.
Yeah.
Or maybe, like, when he, like, finally, like, he goes to the rhinoplasty dude and looks in the mirror and starts laughing for the first time. Jared Leto gets arguably, and very arguably, one moment in the whole film that you can be like, oh, that was a moment for him. And it's when he says to Harley, will you live for me? That's the only good moment he gets.
Yeah.
And it's not good enough to match up to anything the previous Jokers have done. This Joker it's a complete marketing fucking ploy. Like, he's not in the film. He really isn't. He doesn't depend on the storyline. The storyline doesn't depend on him. He's just there.
Him and Harley.
Do you think that they can, because of how little Joker is in the movie, they can look at the criticisms of him and then be like, oh, okay, well, we can change it a bit for, say, Ben Affleck's solo Batman film? Or do you think that it doesn't matter and that they're just going to give us this, that it didn't matter anyhow, that we should have got more of the footage?
No, we damn well should have got more of the footage.
Yeah.
Like, obviously you don't need to show him as like, oh, he's going to be the show stealer here. But you can at least give him fucking something.
Yeah. It was...
Like, obviously you can fix it with Batman because you can have him going up against the Batman, so it gives you more shit to do.
Yeah.
But here, it's, like, honestly, Joker and Harley feel superfluous to this film.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
they're just there to sell
Couldn't
toys.
agree more. Like, I mean, it's... you can tell where the editing has failed, not only Jared Leto, but the Joker and Harley's relationship, because, I mean, you can clearly see, like, little bursts of what was the previous cut. Like, for example, when the car goes underwater, and literally within 2 seconds, Batman is in the water maybe a second or two after the car is, but as soon as he gets down to the car, the Joker's just miraculously disappeared. That seemed to me like, oh, okay, so this was from the cut when Joker didn't give that much of a shit about Harley, where it was like, okay, Harley, you stay here and be the patsy. But now, they bring in this element that the Joker and Harley are inseparable and he needs her no matter what. And yet, he's willing to just leave her as she's smacked through a fucking windshield underwater unconscious.
That surprisingly got a lot of laughs in the cinema.
I'm sorry, like, it's just stupid. Like, this is just not, it's just stupid, simple as. And I didn't buy it at all. But yeah, like, I mean, regarding the Joker, like, I didn't hate the performance. I honestly didn't. Like, I just felt like there was not enough to even judge it. Like,
yeah. I
think that if there were more Joker, I would have enjoyed it. Like, reading some of them New 52 Suicide Squad comics and stuff recently, as you passed them to me.
Yeah.
All I was thinking is, wow, there's some conversations between Joker and Harley here. Like, for example, their first meeting in issue 1 at the end, I believe, or maybe issue 2, where, like, where he just, in a matter of 8 pages, he's able to just give a conversation between the two, kind of thing.
Yeah. That
just easily reveals, shit, she's vulnerable, and he is going to be able to take advantage of her easily. It's so slickly done. And in this film, they just decide...
It kind of just goes straight to it.
Let's bypass that. We go straight to Harley and Joker. Clearly Harley liking him. Once again, music video edited to fuck. Like, where it's just a case of, you literally get Amanda Waller, like, but she was secretly in love with him, and then she's over the table kissing him, and it's like, really, this is like, you're gonna just constantly tell me the story, and you're never gonna show me anything, and it just doesn't work. But I think
it doesn't even show you anything new.
No, do you think we've went through Joker and Harley now? Should we move on, or is there any more thoughts you got on it? I mean, are you looking forward to seeing Jared Leto again?
I'm hoping that he has more stuff to do, and less of his scenes get fucking cut.
Let's hope we get to see some of these deleted scenes, because I want to.
Yeah.
But,
now, like, at this moment, I'm okay if Jared Leto comes back. Like,
yeah.
Like, he at least seemed, even though he did some weird-ass shit behind the scenes, he seemed like he wanted to be there. Yes. And if a dude wants to do something with so much passion, I'd say let him do it. Except for Nazism, because that is a complete no-no.
Yeah.
Do not advocate that shit.
I hope he is not dissuaded by coming back because of the negative attitudes that have come along, because I think even he still claims that he hasn't seen the movie, but I'm sure people have told him about like what is in the film and such.
Yeah.
He's not happy. Clearly, this is not something that he signed up for. He's indicated that they pitched the film to him as something completely different, and that he was what's the word, tricked in a way into being in the film. Yeah. And that is not that's not a good thing. I mean, this guy's playing the Joker, who is arguably the best supervillain of all time. Don't fuck around. Don't do what Warner Brothers did with Robin Williams in, '88 when they offered him the Joker, and then when Jack Nicholson was back on board, just fucked him off. Like, you didn't do a Warner Brothers film for years because of that. You can't do that shit. Like, Jared Leto deserves at least a fucking apology. I hope Warner Brothers have apologized to him. But yeah, let's talk more about the rest of the squad before we get into the story and such.
Yeah. Okay. Let's begin with Deadshot. Because he's more or less the hero of the story.
Absolutely.
In terms of characterization, he's completely different from Deadshot. Like, Deadshot in the comics is a ruthless killer. He don't give a fuck about anyone. In this, I kind of get why they made him likable. I mean, he's got to be your main protagonist in order to get into this squad.
But he's certainly not his ruthless self.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that strikes me immediately is that, Deadshot in the comics was, if he put you on his list, or if you threatened him and he was like, I'm going to kill you, at some point he's going to kill you.
Yeah.
You're going to die.
He's an assassin.
Yes, like, that's it. That's Deadshot's thing. If he says he's going to kill you, that's it. Your tombstone's ready. But in this film, he makes at least, 4 threats to people and never carries them out. Makes threats to Ike Barinholtz, but nothing happens. Makes threats to Joel Kinnaman, Rick Flag 3 times, and yet at the opportune moment to do it, when he's given his letters by his daughter, which, by the way, another stupid moment, your daughter writes every day. You've known this guy for a day, okay? There are 6 letters in your hand. What the fuck?
No. That's not the part I'm angry about. It's the fact that Deadshot doesn't fucking shoot Rick Flag for doing that.
Yes, but that's what I mean. This is another idle threat that he makes. Amanda Waller threatens her twice. I'm sorry. That's Deadshot's character, and I feel like it's okay making him a bit more likable, because let's be honest, this Deadshot, there is never a question that he's a moral guy. Yeah. You're never ever what really? How do I feel about this guy? Never happens. He's constantly happy. But ultimately, I feel like Will Smith saved this movie in ways that it needed.
Yeah. Will Smith shows that you still can fucking act.
Yeah, in an ensemble as well, because he's not the whole movie, but he's the only one that gets a character arc that you can actually be like, okay, at least this was done well. But still, it's a one-note character arc. It's just all it is my daughter. If we're not talking about the mission, let's talk about my daughter, or let's go and see her. And I'm sorry, but it's just I have an ex-wife. Apparently she's a bit shady. I want to see that. I don't want you to and they did well, don't get me wrong, that's one of the moments where the dialogue does well in actually conveying what's going on with his ex-wife without just fucking telling you now I know your mother's got AIDS. Anyhow, but it just it's one of those things that it works, but it's certainly it's not of a high caliber. It's not groundbreaking.
It's serviceable.
Yes,
that's basically
yes. Anything good we can say about this film, we can pretty much just say is serviceable.
Yeah.
But
okay, so next member, Captain Boomerang.
I like.
Surprisingly, I actually really like this.
Yeah, once again, like Amanda Waller, I thought the casting was fine, and when he actually gets to have moments, for example, I think probably his best moment is when he says to El Diablo, "What's that on your face?" Does he say, "What's that shit on your face?" Is that wash off? Those are the moments where you're this is what the movie should have been.
Oh, you got the fire, man, eh?
Yeah.
Look here, fire.
Woo! Those are the moments, but then you get the moments that were clearly chopped down, where it's him and Katana, and his first line is, "Do you have a boyfriend?" And then his second line,
"Do you want to go out for a drink?"
randomly in the middle of the third act, "Do you want to go out for a drink sometime?" Apparently this relationship, he was supposed to be very racist and sexist towards her.
Yeah.
I feel like they just in the last 6 months were SJWs.
Although,
fuck that.
Although when he says that shit, I instantly get flashbacks to Team America. Just hopefully after this is all over, I want to bang with Peter.
Yeah, but I mean, but it shouldn't. That's that's comical on purpose. It just so much was cut out of this movie. They cut out the racist and sexist background of Captain Boomerang, which I'm sorry, but would have made the movie in many ways.
Yeah.
But they also took out the rapist storyline with Slipknot. And that, I'm sorry, that makes his death pointless. The reason why Slipknot is supposed to be okay as the guy dying at the beginning is because you're told he's a serial rapist, and the first thing he does is punches a chick. That's why when he dies you're supposed to be like, oh, okay, well, fuck him. But in the movie, really, you're just like...
Yeah.
He's dead. What?
Well, he punched a chick.
And we called it, don't get me wrong, we called it a long time ago.
Oh, everybody was calling this shit, man. Like, Slipknot had no fucking, like, advertisement for him.
At all. Except for just...
Yeah.
Like, it's just... But, yeah, oh my god, why are they... It's just stupid things. Yeah. Things that we know are on the cutting room floor, and we know would have made it a more concise film.
Yeah.
Like,
going back to it, Captain Boomerang is honestly the only one out of this squad that I actually like, simply for the fact that he is the only one who is a bad guy. Like, he acts like a fucking dick.
True.
Everyone else has this sort of cohesive, oh, we're gonna work as a team because we're a team. Like, Captain Boomerang in the bar scene, he's like, oh, well, you know, the second the world goes to shit, I'm running the fuck out of this bar.
Yeah.
And then when Joel Kinnaman comes back and he's like, okay, we're gonna go back, he's instantly running.
Yeah. He's
going for that shit. But then they fuck it up at the end by bringing him back.
Yes, that's what I mean. The film, once again, just like Amanda Waller, the film does not... It does not live up to the character that he's bringing, because it's just, once again, cut out shit. Like, why does he come back? So he gets a funny moment at the end of the bar scene where Rick Flag comes in, as you said, and says, you guys are free to go if you want to, and he's immediately out of there.
Yeah.
And also he gets a good moment in the bar scene where he says, like, what about the kids, to El Diablo, and you get to see, like, oh, so there's his morality. Yeah. Like, Captain Boomerang is many things, but, like, you kill kids, now he's got to, like, ask some questions. Like, that's cool. But then as soon as he has his funny moment and leaves the bar, like you said, they start doing the walk-up, line-up thing outside to go to the mission. And Captain Boomerang just suddenly is there.
So...
I mean, it just doesn't make sense. That does not make sense. This is Chewbacca. Okay. Like, I'm sorry, it just...
Oh, no, he's bringing it out again.
Those are simple fucking failures. And yeah. But yeah, so Captain Boomerang, I agree with you, like Amanda Waller. I liked what Jai Courtney brought to it. Like, well done to him.
Like, if Jai Courtney...
The film didn't service him.
If Jai Courtney, like, appears in the Flash films, Captain Boomerang, I'll be fucking up for it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah, I want to see him as a fucking villain.
Last thing on his character, though, and this is kind of on every character, they don't really get a moment to show off their individual skills. They try and make it look like they do by letting Captain Boomerang throw two boomerangs, like, at one point during a slow-mo shot.
Yeah. But
no, that is not enough. And you get to see dead shots. I don't know why people are raving about this scene where he's on top of the car. I thought it was poor. Like, it was just... You get a wide shot of people just going pinging down, and then him just like this, and then shots of the soldiers reacting. It wasn't very tight, and it just, like... I wanted shots of, like, close-up, him looking through the radar on his arm.
Yeah, a bit of like, wanted bullet following and shit
one-to-one, like, simple, just, like, back and forth shots, like, stuff that just connects up, whereas instead it was, like, wide shot, people going down, he's on top of the car, soldiers are in awe, it's just...
I think they even have, like, a low angle where, like, it's just him on the car and he's just shooting people, and you can't really see who he's shooting.
No, you can't,
like it's probably like, oh, is he...
People have been saying...
We're cool now.
Yeah, people have been saying that this is one of, like, the action... you know, redemptive moments of the film, but I'm sorry, it's not. Just by filmmaking standards, by action standards, by superhero film standards, we've seen shit way better than that. Whenever you get an individual character shown in a lot of superhero films, we get to see individually what they do. Like, I mean, Batman, the warehouse sequence in BVS, perfect example. You may not like the film, but you can't deny that that is the Batman you've waited for years. To see Batman with that kind of fighting style, just fucking punching. Like, when you punch people, you see the blood and the sweat just shoot out of their face. But then you get to this film, and it's just like, oh, it's just not good. They don't really show off the individual talents enough. And I don't know why, because David Ayers, like, action is kind of his forte. I mean, I don't know, he doesn't deal in, you know, over-the-top action necessarily, but it shouldn't... I didn't think it would be that much of a stretch. I don't know whether it's him or the editing, could be either way, but probably the editing.
Yeah.
But yes, that's Captain Boomerang, I guess. Who's next?
El Diablo.
El Diablo. Not a fan.
At first, I was kind of into it, but the way they handled his sort of character is very bad numbers. Like, at the beginning, it's like, oh, he's supposed to be, you know, He's supposed to be the one with morality in this
Yeah.
group. And at the beginning, yeah, that kind of works. Like, in the New 52 that I've read, he's always the sort of moral centre within the group.
Yeah, and they really do take from that.
Yeah. And, you know, when it just carries on, and the same problem with the whole film, this team comes together way too easily.
Yes.
Like he's usually the one who mentions that, oh no, we gotta stick to a team because we are family homes. There has been no development throughout this. The most you've had is Harley and Deadshot, and even then, it is very like, is there a friendship here?
Yeah. It's, you know, like, that was one of the things that I was like, at least they were smart enough to nod to that, like Harley and Deadshot having a, you know, bit of a rapport.
Yeah.
However, I thought the film would have benefited far more from Harley at the beginning of the film being like, well, see, here's what I think. You know when Joker leaves the car, as I said, under the water?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been great if that's how she got there? Because Joker left her behind, and so she's pissed off with Joker, and therefore they can do the kind of Assault on Arkham thing where Harley and Deadshot actually start like doing stuff and start getting into each other, and that would have been incredible because then Joker can get jealous, and that's why Joker comes back, because yeah, he may not love Harley, but if someone else is fucking
you touch
Harley,
my Harley, you're dead.
exactly, you know, like it's, you know, like that would have been perfect. Maybe that's what the original film was, and I'm sorry, but that would have been infinitely better than what we got. And I just, yeah, it fucking pisses me off royally. But
okay.
Wait, hold on. How did we get to there?
Yeah, it's from
El Diablo.
Yeah, it's from El Diablo.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm with you there. Like it doesn't feel earned to me at all. His third act, like, triumph and what he comes to.
Yeah. Like, to be fair, he does give us the one new thing in this film from, like, the trailers. Like, in the trailers, in this film, you're going to get all of the scenes from the trailers and pretty much that. Yeah. You'll get one scene that is new, and that is when fucking El Diablo turns into an Aztec tiki god. Yeah. And then he's just like, he goes up to Incubus just like, I'm gonna make you my bitch.
It's like it's a good moment. Like that's a moment in the film where you can really be like, now that's a third act something to do. However, like when it's masked in as the guy,
it's just the lead up to it. That's the problem.
I don't know. It was Collider or the Hollywood Reporter. The guys who said like pre-2005 graphics. So with that opinion, I'm sorry, it really is. Like Incubus's graphics, he looked like a cartoon version of Tutankhamun or something. Like it was really weird. And El Diablo's graphics when he changed were okay. It was bearable, but kind of because you'd just seen those 2005 graphics and you were like, what else could come? But El Diablo as a character, like, okay,
see, the thing
I wasn't buying the performance, right? I wasn't. Like, at first, every one of his, like, talking points ended with, like, one of those, like, kind of Latino button kind of things. Like, and he used them a lot in the comics, so I was like, fuck it, fair enough. If he says Cholo or Holmes at the end of every sentence, like, fine. But ultimately, like, I was never really feeling the character in the first act. Like, I liked it when he was in the tank and stuff, but the dialogue didn't make sense when he was like, oh no, he's not here no more. And what? No, like, you know that he's inside of you. Like, what are you talking about? I know he's trying to say how, like, I'm not going to use him anymore, but to convey that in the dialogue, he says, no, I don't know where that guy is. You don't show him anymore, Holmes. Like, what? Like, that wasn't a good way to do it. But, and then you get his moment in the bar scene, which I'm sorry, but kind of is okay. So there's a moment in between there where he uses his powers, like simple mistakes. Why didn't he like shout when he was using his powers and run to Deadshot for the first time? Because what you've got is like bullets flying, Deadshot shouting, when you're gonna get in the game, when you're gonna get in the game. And then he gets in the game and all you hear is, and everyone just going.
Yeah, he kind of just uses
why didn't he
fire
just go,
lasers.
ah! I'm sorry, if he just would have said an ah, if he would have shouted, it would have made the scene way more powerful, but instead it's really silent and...
Made it way more entertaining as well.
When he screamed.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, in the trailers it was like, he does scream, and you're like... Whoa.
Like, it felt like a segment from a comic book, you know, where like they have the... You know, the capital letters of R just going on and be like, yeah, this is fucking comics.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, this guy hasn't used his powers since he killed his family, because that's so sacred to him. But as soon as he's ready to use them again, it's just... What? I almost expected him to just say, stop in the name of love. But, like, I mean, what the fuck? It's just... like simple things, just have him scream. It would have made way more sense. And
or even get creative with his powers, like have him throw a fireball or something.
not just constantly fucking beams of light.
Beams of light, and then, you know, Aztec God.
Yeah, Aztec God. But I mean, it's like, you know, and then after that we get the moment of his revelation moment where he tells them the story in the bar.
And the thing is, this story should make me feel something.
But it doesn't.
But the way it's done is just slow and sloppy.
I felt a lot more for the Volume 1 New 52 comic where he just like, he shoots out a gangbanger's house kind of thing. And then he goes inside and he realises their entire family were in the house. Yeah. And he gets down on his knees and he waits for the police to come. In this, it's like him and his wife are just having a basic fight over money, and she's like, I'm going to take the kids to my mum's for weekends, which I'm sorry is in every marriage movie. And that's usually when the guy is just like, oh, okay, but I'll fix things or something. Instead, he's like, oh, you come back here, ma. And by the way, like, why does he slap his girl on the ass in the scene when she brings him the dinner and then she's like, thank you. Like, look, it was a very kind of like, not that I'm like against it, like, it's cool, like look, if couples stab each other in the ass and come in the gang, like, I partake myself. But it's just like, I was just thinking like, we're in this emotional sequence, and then she gives him some breakfast.
Oh, thanks, babe.
Thanks, baby. And she just goes, thank you, and walks away. And it's in that moment I was like, oh, the SJWs aren't going to be happy here. I was like, fuck. But anyway, like those moments with the wife, it's like, you hear her say that embarrassing line of, hey, like, you know, I'm going to put the kids to bed and then maybe we can kick it. You know, I'm sorry, that like, I almost expected to go, maybe we can fuck it. You know, like, what the, like, it was such a, what? And then he gets up and he's like, no, this ain't real. This can't be real. Why? Because your wife wouldn't say kick it. Like, I mean, like, it just, every scene that he's in doesn't forward it. And it's also, like, in the filmmaking of it, like, when he tells you, like, when he's like, what happened to the wife and kids, and then she's like, he killed them. I think you see the actual shot of it beforehand, where it's just his wife in his arms, completely fine. And then it zooms up and he goes, ah! And fire engulfs everything. Like, why was she in your arms first? Like, was he... Because it doesn't look like he's choosing to kill her. He's like, oh, why can't I stop this? Why can't I stop this? I better grab my wife so she can be really close to the powers. Oh, is it gonna... Oh, fuck, it happened, no! Like, what the fuck? It just... It's so easy to shoot a sequence like that and make it look emotional. You just have to take your time. But instead, it's just, where'd this money come from? Hey, don't you be looking in there, Jones. And then, like, they go... Then it's like, I'm taking the kids away. Don't you take my children. And then he runs upstairs and it's just like... And then she died. You know, and he's just got there with the hand.
And then I went to go and see the Mumford and Sons concert.
Hey, a new Wolverine, man. Hey, what's your name?
The name is Jeff. We are sorry if any Latinos are watching right now. It's very rare that we do Latino like fucking accents. Yeah. It's great.
We're taking the piss out of El.
I fucking love it.
I mean, it's God, it just didn't work for me. It wasn't filmed right, it wasn't edited right. And that moment at the end when he breaks them out of their dream sequences, that should be powerful, but it's not. Because not everyone gets one. Captain Boomerang doesn't. Yeah. Katana doesn't. It's just those three because they're
and you know who doesn't get any that we're going to talk about right now?
What?
Killer Croc.
Killer fucking Croc. Oh my god.
What was the point?
I don't know. I mean, just like, to wrap up El Diablo very quickly, just to say, his sacrifice at the end is not end. Just to finish that off.
It isn't. It's very, very rushed.
Right. But on to who did you say?
Croc.
Killer Croc. God, I wanted more from Killer Croc. This film just undervalued him at every turn. Like, every line he gets is not that good. It looks like he had more on the cutting room floor from what people have said, and like there's apparently a whole sequence in the helicopter when you find out that he doesn't like to he gets travel sickness, and so he throws up some goat on the floor and then eats it again in front of all the soldiers, and I was like, fuck, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess they didn't put it in the movie.
Like Killer Croc, I get why they picked Killer Croc. They were going from the fucking, Killer Shark in New 52, but Killer Shark isn't as well known, so let's go for Killer Croc. But the thing is, Killer Shark actually did shit. He ate motherfuckers alive, and when he, provided an emotional moment, it was usually a kind of Silent Bob sort of scenario, where like he would just say something out of nowhere, and everyone would be like,
he usually just say, eat. meat.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's all. And, like, Killer Croc, like, the moments that he does speak in this movie, they're very long and drawn out. Like, when he says, I'm beautiful. Like, it's okay, yeah, it could be a funny moment, but except you've edited it wrong because you have Harley say that he's ugly, and then he says he's beautiful. But it's not just like he says, I'm beautiful. He goes, not me. No, it doesn't. To be honest, he goes, not me. I'm beautiful. And it's like, why are we spending this long on this moment? And then she just says, yeah, you are. And it's like, you just called him ugly 10 seconds ago, Harley.
Yeah.
Like, you can forgive it because it's Harley and she's crazy. But
And like, that could have been funny if Killer Croc didn't speak beforehand.
yeah.
So, all the way through this film, Killer Croc just, all he says is,
Yeah.
yeah, uh-huh,
It's not like it's
I.
not a good service.
That,
And
like-
also, like when they ask him what they want at the end of the movie, see, you know, one thing that bothers me is that, like, you always want to see how the Suicide Squad missions wrap up, like what they get, and you know how lenient Amanda can be and all that
Yeah.
shit. This film didn't do that well. Like, Amanda's usually just like 10 years off his sentence, get back in, or if she makes a deal, she'll stick with it.
Yeah.
In this, you know, suddenly she just has a moment of heart where she's, pardon me, where she's just like, any requests and stuff, and fucking Deadshot, it's after Deadshot says he wants to see his daughter, and she's like, that can be arranged. And then Harley asks for an espresso machine. And fucking Captain Boomerang gets jack shit, because fuck Australians apparently. And basically Killer Croc asks for BET. He asked for BET.
What the fuck?
Explain to me, please. Give me Killer Croc's pretty much overall origin originally. Like, was he a black guy that like had a skin condition? Is that what it was? Or what? Or did he just? Or like what's the deal? Because like,
Okay.
is this Killer Croc supposed to be like a black guy with a skin condition? Because like,
Well, he is a black guy under the skin.
yeah, he is Adewale. But like that's what I mean. Like, is that how the mythos works here? Or is Killer Croc just a beast, like that was born a beast kind of thing, or what?
He wasn't born a beast.
So he was a black guy who got a skin condition.
Yeah, like, unlike other supervillains who get their powers through a science experiment or a freak accident, Killer Croc's condition was a genuine skin condition. Like, his skin would, like, turn reptilian. And so, he was like, you know, put in a circus. People didn't like him. He was constantly made fun
I know
of.
that side of the story, but was he a black guy?
I'm pretty sure he was white.
But I guess.
But they might have changed that.
Yeah, I mean they changed Deadshot in this film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With flying colours too.
Yeah, much funnier than any joke in this film.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, look, if that's what they're going for, fine. But BT. I remember one guy in Superhero News was like, I was half expecting to follow it up with chicken and watermelon, and I was like, you know, I mean, perhaps that would have been just as on the nose. Like, I mean, like it just seems like, and BET isn't even that fucking good. But I mean, if he wants to, if Killer Croc wants to watch some booties jiggle, then fine. But I was just, when he said BET, I was like, like, what? Really? But
Say what?
because it's just the whole movie. Like, you're thinking, this is Killer Croc. You're not thinking, like, was this guy once just like a black guy, and his life was just turned upside down by this like disease, this skin disease he got. And I feel like that would have made more sense if they would have given backstory. Like, apparently he had backstory as well in the dossier kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and
like it's
just gloss over it.
Yeah, like it's supposed to imply that he looks like a monster, so people have treated him like shit.
Yeah.
And that's why he acts the way he does. But the thing is, there's no like. What they could have used is an interaction between Killer Croc and the fucking soldiers that the Suicide Squad is with.
Yeah.
Because with them, they're kind of what the prejudice he's going through.
True.
So then you could have. You don't even need to have loads of dialogue, just like a quick scene or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have given you way more character than what you got in this film.
Absolutely.
All he is just the lizard man. That is it.
Yeah, I mean, the backstory of Killer Croc in this film involved him meeting, you know, with the Batman as well. Like, that you know, that he been muscle for a couple of gangs whilst trying to rise up through the ranks himself, and that like he ends up having a face off with Batman.
Yeah.
That would have been fantastic, and I wanted to see him as Adewale before he, you know, becomes Killer Croc kind of thing. But yeah, it's just he didn't really get much to act through that mask with. Killer Croc's character ultimately just becomes very just silly and
just one. No?
You're never ever thinking, oh, Killer Croc's back. You're just like, are they gonna do anything with him? And then they don't, and it's just like, okay. But he seemed like a cool character.
Yeah.
Like Killer Croc survives in the end, doesn't he?
Yeah. The only.
Not
to be honest,
fucking remember.
To be honest, the only two that actually die are Slipknot and El Diablo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could
Yeah,
have
pretty much.
killed off one more person.
Mhm.
Come on.
Well, I suppose then in that case, let's wrap up. I keep forgetting what character we're on. Killer Croc, because he's so forgettable. Like you won't forget what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's just there.
Yes, so he's there. I want to.
He looks cool. He doesn't do much.
Yeah. He looks alright. I wanted a bit more from the look. To be honest.
Okay, so next one,
Yeah.
Katana, which actually pisses me off the most.
This will be quick.
No, like this character pisses me off the most because she has what potential to be one of the fucking most badass superheroes.
Her backstory itself.
Her backstory is fucking epic.
It could be deserving of its own DC movie film. Like I would, if they said a Katana film, I'd be like, fuck yeah. Her backstory is awesome.
But what does she get in this? No. She gets people, explaining who she is.
All she is a character of exposition, but not in the sense of like, say, the way Ellen Page's Ariadne is in Inception, where she actually is the audience, and therefore you get to experience exposition through her. Instead, exposition is just constantly thrown on Katana, and you don't know really what the purpose of the character to be there is at all. Why is she there? Like, why is she going to the bar when the squad does? Before then, every moment she has with the squad is one of disgust and unenjoyment, and then suddenly she's just like, fuck you, Rick Flag, I'm gonna get a drink. Like, what? And also, like, at the beginning of that scene, there's a good moment as well where she's like, Deadshot says to honor amongst thieves, and she says, I'm not a thief, and then he goes, oh, she's not a thief. Like, that's a good moment, and that's a moment that everyone was chuckling with in the pictures. But then you follow it up with a shitty El Diablo backstory, a decent moment from Harley Quinn where she, tells him, own that shit. That's the closest the movie gets to being controversial. When Harley's just like, own that shit, like, and Captain Boomerang's like, oh, on the outside you're amazing, but on the inside you're ugly, and she's like, we all are. And that was the bit in the movie where I was like, hold on, are they actually going to get somewhere here, like a consensus where this makes sense and everyone gets it? But then no, it's just a funny moment for Killer Croc. Oh, Killer Croc's back, I'm beautiful. And then Rick Flag's in the bar and it's like, wait, where were we? What was going on then? And then it's just over, and it's just Rick Flag like, I love June Moon. And I'm fucking doing it for June Moon, for my freedom. And I want you to come with me even though you don't need to.
Jenny.
Like it just... I'm sorry, it didn't
Lieutenant Dane!
Every time I watch this film I think to myself, Joel Kinnaman, you're passable, but I wanted Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy would have been a better Rick Flag, he would have been more involved in the story, probably would have convinced us more of that relationship. Because Joel Kinnaman, maybe it's that he didn't get enough to do, but it didn't work for me. Katana, I'm sorry, horrible.
She had the most potential to actually pop out of this entire squad, and she is fucking wasted.
I mean, I love her. Like, the girl who was chosen is
the girl who plays her is great.
Role, but you never get to see her take anyone's souls with a sword. Yeah. You don't get to see her fight much.
You don't see the fucking black eye thing that happens in the trailers.
That whole thing. You don't get to see her like have any revelations really. And it's just after the movie, you're just like, why was she there? I like her and I'd like to see her again, but what the fuck was she there for? Like, it's pointless. And yeah, I feel like once again a character that clearly she was putting some oomph into it, like everyone. Everyone here is at 110% acting wise. But the film itself just diminishes a lot of the value that they're bringing to it, and that's what upsets me. So Katana once again is a no for me. You?
Yeah, she's a no. Wasted potential.
Who's next?
Slipknot.
I mean, let's just put that in a nutshell. Slipknot. Horrible.
To be fair.
What?
He leads to one of the only moments where I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying this, and that's when he dies.
Really?
Because Captain Boomerang does the same thing he does in the original comics and eggs him on to fuck up, and so he fucking dies.
But they don't give you any resolution with it though, once again, because you have Captain Boomerang do the funny thing of convince him to try and get out and kill him.
Yeah.
But then, it would have been way funnier if as soon as he dies, Captain Boomerang then turned to Katana and was like, it was his idea, he made me do it, I swear, or something. Because then it'd be like, look at how shady a dude he is, he's just killed this guy, you won't even back him up. But instead, all you get is him say to her, have you got a boyfriend? And then he catches the boomerang and goes, sorry, that's what they do, or whatever. And I'm like, do you not understand Dialogue 101? It's about circles, everything's a circle. It's a circle.
Oh, don't fucking quote that
You just
film.
have to make things come back to bite you in the ass. Very simple. Like, small things and big things. So, for example, in this film, you could have had in that sequence, like I just said, him say that, oh, it was Slipknot who tried to get me to do it, and then it would be a comical moment on the level of something like Step Brothers-y. And then then you got like the larger circles of shit that you make come back. Like, so for example, if this film, the way it opens on a scene with Deadshot saying to Ike Barinholtz Griggs' character, someday, somehow I'm going to get out of here, I'm going to rain down you the Holy Ghost. A threat that he makes that he never carries out. A great idea would have been making the last scene in the movie him getting back at Griggs. Like, maybe Griggs is on the phone and you see a red dot and Deadshot just talks to him on the phone, says a funny line, and then BAM! Credits. Like, that would have been great, because that's an example of something large that comes back to bite you in the ass. Same with the Captain Boomerang thing being something small. That is how movies work. That is how, when you think to yourself, what is a well-rounded good movie? That's what you're looking for. Shit that comes back to bite you in the ass, lessons learned. This film disregards that notion at every turn. Captain Boomerang doesn't have any shit that comes back to bite you in the ass. Deadshot doesn't. No one does. There is no twists that really amount to anything. And we'll get to the Amanda Waller and stuff twists in a bit, which is stupid. But anyhow, so on that character, Slipknot.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Like, the thing is, I get it, you need one person to be just like the fucking patsy who's the first one to die. Like, everyone has that in pretty much any first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, you're gonna die fucking first.
And Suicide Squad comics revolve around it. There was always a character that just gets off pretty quickly, just to show you how funny and, you know, how large the stage is.
How like sporadic it can actually be in the Suicide Squad.
Absolutely.
But yeah, as a character, no one's gonna be fucking buying merchandise of him at any time soon.
I feel bad for Adam Beach because he's a good actor from what I've seen of him, but also like the Empire podcast, I was listening to that the other day, and one of the dudes from it got to visit the set and speak to Adam Beach for about like an hour or two. And Adam Beach was telling him about the preparation that he was in and a bit of his character's backstory about him being a rapist and stuff. And basically, fucking, yeah, like, I feel awful for him because he's obviously put in some effort here, and he did have a backstory moment for himself, like Deadshot did, and like Harley did, and all that. He had one of those moments, but they've chopped it out of the film completely and given him 2 lines and then killed him, and it's stupid because I'm sorry, you can make that work, killing off a character easy. You just have to make the development, you know, worthy of him getting off quickly, which is why making him a serial rapist makes sense, because it's despicable, and you're obviously, as a viewer, regardless of what kind of tone film you're watching, you're not going to root for that guy. So taking that out, once again, the film just fails the character and the actor itself, and it's ridiculous. But yeah, so Slipknot, a big no-no.
Yeah. Then you got like Joel Kinnaman,
Rick Flag,
who is pretty much what I expected. Like, honestly,
serviceable.
No, serviceable, but he's G.I. Joe.
And also
That's
him and Ju Moon don't get the proper backstory.
That one. I wanted to forget that one, because that one was the most fucking stupid character in the entire fucking film.
Wait, let's not touch upon Ju Moon and Enchantress just yet, because that's going to be a shitstorm. But let's touch upon their relationship. Stupid.
Okay.
Rick Flag, because that's part of his backstory, their relationship. Horrible. You get one scene where literally Amanda Waller's like, I put them together.
Underdeveloped.
I put them together, and as I expected, they fell in love, or they had a romantic engagement.
Everything is falling into place.
Amanda Waller is not like that. She doesn't do that. If they would have changed the line instead to, I put them together, and unexpected to my surprise, they began a relationship, which makes it even easier for me to control her. That would have been fine, because you didn't bend the will to do it, but she puts them together and plays Cupid with them. Stupid. Yeah. And also, the only scene you get backstory for that is literally, it made me laugh in the cinema. I don't know if you remember, but we're basically just on a bed together, and Ji-moon goes, "Aren't you gonna kiss me?" And he just kisses her, and then that's it. And it's like, oh, so they're an item. And then the second scene you get between them is when Rick Flag, for some reason, early hours of the morning, is staring out of the window, eating a chicken wing or a rib. and
it's one of those moments of like confusion where you're like, yes. How do I approach this?
Look, if he's basically supposed to be staying up late to keep watch on her for some reason, first of all, you haven't established that, so that doesn't work. But if that's what you're going for, and you're trying to indicate that he has to stay up late, drink coffee, have him drinking coffee, that makes sense. Oh, why is he? Oh, okay, well he's trying to stay awake. Who the fuck is going to be eating a chicken wing or a rib and staring out the window going...
You never know, it might have been a late delivery.
What? What? And then, it just so happens the night that he's doing that we see him, she goes crazy, she's off the rail, oh, Enchantress, she breaks out. We need to put together this team in case a new Superman comes along. Who comes along? Oh, fuck, the powerful girl from your team. And then it's just like, and David Ayers keeps on saying in interviews, like, this is what makes the film so complex, because, like, it's Amanda Waller covering up her mistake. Yes, but you don't know that until the third act. And when it comes in, it doesn't make sense. Like, what it looks like is Enchantress has randomly waited until Task Force X has been assembled to then just go off on a power spree. Apparently she could have done this at any point because she just goes to Amanda Waller's fucking room, which she could have done any night. Why is she doing it on this night? And then gets her brother because he's, not behind any special box either, And then suddenly it's just shit sandwich everywhere and we're fucked. And it's just stupid. Why is Amanda in Midway City? We don't know. And yeah, I'm sorry, it's not complex. Like, David Ayers keeps on saying, it's not simple, it's complex. It's not, I'm sorry. Like, I think you're a great filmmaker, but I don't know whether you're defending this film to help Warner Brothers because you didn't get the cut you wanted, because I don't think you did get the cut you wanted, but I'm sorry, like, at some point you gotta pack it in with this shit. And But yeah, the relationship between Rick Flag and Ji-moon wasn't entertaining to me. I feel like Rick Flag once again got enough. Like, he had better moments than the rest of them, like the World War III moment. But then his character completely just gets flipped when, he's on the helicopter. The whole time he's shitting on Deadshot. He's on the helicopter and Deadshot's like, don't act like you haven't seen any side of the darkness like me either or something. And Rick Flag's like, I'm a soldier. I kill people for my country or whatever. And he says to Deadshot, you take credit cards. You're a serial killer. Mm. That's what he's like the whole movie. He's like, you're a killer, you're a killer. Amanda Waller kills 5 innocent people in front of him. The 2 following lines that come after it, Deadshot says...
Yeah, you get used to it.
And you think I'm bad or something. And what does Rick Flag say? Yeah, you get used to it. The whole movie, you're shitting on this guy and the other people for being killers. As soon as your superior kills 5 innocent people, your immediate line is, yeah, you get used to it. This is simple playground shit, and it just doesn't make sense here, and oh my god, this fucking movie. But yeah, Rick Flag, serviceable, but the film once again fails him. Nothing stands out. The film fails him. His relationship, his love interest, his constant change of haircuts from the reshoots fails him. Like, it's...
Yeah, I was wondering about that all the way through the film, just like...
noticeable.
What the When did you fucking get cut? What? Oh, come on.
Exactly, his haircut you can constantly see when they've done the reshoots and stuff. But yeah, Rick Flag serviceable, but just didn't live up to what I wanted. I wanted a more badass Rick Flag. But I wanted his story at least to make sense. Once again, circles. Doesn't happen. So, fuck him. Who's next? We've kind of touched upon Harley already, so...
Aside from all the Suicide Squad, do you want to get into Enchantress?
Let's get into the antagonist.
Because she's the antagonist.
This is probably my least favourite villain since Doctor Doom in Fantastic Four.
Van Forstic?
Van Forstic, yes. At least when Doctor Doom was telling them his plan or talking to them, he wasn't doing it like this. I don't know what the fuck that is. I mean, it looks like she spent a few too many hours with Bill Cosby. But I mean, like, it just, I'm sorry, like, what the fuck?
Okay. From the beginning, she has this sort of golem-like creepiness. And that's fine, that's good. I'm into it because it looks creepy as fuck. And the transformation sequence where it crawls up and changes over, that's cool.
Badass.
I have not seen a transformation sequence like that.
And her bringing the Tehran files and stuff, that's cool, that's a real world scenario.
Then, when Joel Kinnaman bites into that fucking chicken wing, it all goes to hell.
All goes to hell in a handbasket.
She all of a sudden whispers Enchantress in her sleep, turns into the Enchantress, and then goes into Amanda Waller's office, picks up a totem of her brother Incubus, takes her away, unleashes it on some random dude who's on a train, and then, says, we're gonna, destroy the world because the humans don't believe in gods anymore, they believe in machines.
Yeah, it's a bad plan.
There has been nothing leading up to this.
Nothing.
This is like, she finds the totem, goes into the train, gets the dude, runs, we're gonna destroy the world, and then starts this huge beam in the sky. Like, that is literally how it goes. There is no build up.
It's a beam in the sky, what are you gonna do?
Like, it isn't the beam in the sky, don't get me wrong. It's a recycled fucking plot device in these films, but
that's what I'm saying.
it's just the lead up. There is no cohesive flow.
It's horrible, isn't it? It's just
like,
especially considering the promise that this showed on those fronts, that maybe you get a bit of a different third act in a movie like this, but ultimately no, like, it just
Cara Delevingne.
What were you touching upon that? Yeah, the villain. It's just poor. It's not an interesting villain. It's not an interesting storyline for the villain. And Cara Delevingne just doesn't get enough to do. It's like, after Paper Towns, I was like, shit, like, I want to see this girl act. Now I'm like, I want to see this girl act in anything that requires her being human, because I don't like what I saw there.
Like, Cara Delevingne as a person is fucking entertaining. Like, I love Cara Delevingne.
Yeah, great.
And at times when she's in a like realistic portrayal of herself, she seems a lot like Harley fucking Quinn. And it's like, yeah, this is fucking entertaining. In this film, all she does is gyrate.
Yeah.
She's in the fucking bikini, which is like, okay. And then she has the fucking weird ass headpiece.
It's almost like she took like 2 X pills and then keeps on listening to Return of the Mac on her iPod over and over, and it's just constant and constant. She can't stop it, and it's just, she can't control herself. The Mac is back.
Her plan is piss poor.
Horrible. And also, by the way, can we address that, like, even before we get to the chicken wing, there are still problems with the character of June Moon. I'm sorry, but what archaeologist is like, an ancient stick thing, better break off its head and see what's inside? What archaeologist ever did that? When did Indiana Jones just pick up the golden totem and be like, what's inside here? It doesn't happen. Like, these are priceless artifacts most of the time, and she just picks it up and goes and takes the head off immediately. Now, one person gave me a theory of how this could actually make sense, and it was decent. One person said, what if she's already taken by the witch by the time she does that, and the witch is controlling her and knows that that's what needs to happen? Okay, but there is no indication of that. There is no Cara Delevingne walking weirdly or like she's been taken over. There's no like her eye colour changes or anything. It's just her looking around, and she picks it up, and there's no indication. And I'm sorry, so she's immediately addressed as the worst archaeologist you've ever met in your life.
Well, aside from fucking Nathan Drake from Uncharted, who ends up destroying every ark in the archaeological find that he can get.
Yeah, but never intentionally. Like, Enchantress is just breaking shit.
Yeah, she's breaking shit and then just gets possessed, and oh man, like, this villain is just horrible. It's forgettable.
It's horrible, yeah.
Like, how can a ridiculous looking villain like that be forgettable?
Even reading like the New 52 comics over and shit, like, I mean, there are so many good villains there that I was like, man, you could have used any of these storylines. I get it, they were using one of the John Ostrander storylines.
Yeah.
I have not read that Enchantress storyline, but from what I've heard, it's not a very faithful adaptation. They've just taken the character and given it a completely different, situation. And, I mean, it's just, it doesn't seem like it was really trying to be a Suicide Squad film, because there are inherent Suicide Squad things in all the comics that just aren't at play here. You know, like, and I just, yeah, pissed me off. The villain, I did not like the villain. Like you, I think I'm looking. You know, I'll still like Cara Delevingne as an actress. I think she's hilarious, as you said. Like her actual, just her personality herself. She didn't get enough to do in this film. It's an embarrassing film role. And I just hope that next time round, like, they give us a better villain, because if they do another Suicide Squad, because you know, Suicide Squad primarily is certainly like the early run of the comics. Like, you should have put them in a foreign country. That's where those comics really are at play. Like, that's why they're so good. That's why, you know, Wonder Woman and Flash can't just pop out of nowhere. In this film, it's in Midway City. Flash could have just came out of nowhere. Is Flash really? Are we supposed to believe that he's just napping the entire time that this situation's going on, or that Wonder Woman and Batman are just so deep into this file reading that they just can't deal with it right now? No, I'm sorry. Like, you should have took them somewhere, a different country, put them in uncharted waters and shit, and let them be at play against the villain there, and it would have been well better. Would have been able to break more boundaries. But
this, like, the main plot is too big for this group. Like with Suicide Squad, the main reason why their missions like worked was because the mission reflected the sort of power levels or capabilities of what these characters could do.
Yeah.
Like, when you put them up against a god in their first fucking mission, I'm sorry, that's just going to be fucking ridiculous.
How are they ever going to win? I'm sorry, like, I mean, look at the lineup.
Yeah.
Remember how, like, Amanda Waller's always like, we need these metahumans, we're going to fight these metahumans, there's going to be a war against metahumans, we need these metahumans. You have 2 metahumans on your team, Enchantress and El Diablo. Then you've got Deadshot, good with guns, Harley Quinn.
Acrobatic.
Okay. Captain Boomerang, likes to throw boomerangs and rob banks.
Slipknot, who can
Slipknot,
shoot.
who can climb things.
Yeah.
How on earth did you think to yourself that, okay, well, we've lost Enchantress, I guess it's these other guys, these can sort this out? No, even El Diablo couldn't do it. Like, it's, and she probably knew that. Like, it just, I'm not saying you have to throw in characters like Yo-Yo and stuff, but like fucking, like,
Yo-Yo.
Pick a team that makes more sense, because this team, ultimately, it made me feel like, wow, this does not fit in the Man of Steel BVS universe at all, because in those universes it's like, oh my god, there's a Superman. Do you have any idea what it would be like if we knew that there was a man like this? In this film it's like, so yeah, I've got him, found them. This guy that you knew about, the crocodile guy, have you heard about the pyrotechnic homeboy? And she's a witch. Like, how long have these people been around? I thought metahumans was something that was just far beyond our capability, but now it's like they're showing up everywhere. Like, it just doesn't fit for me. But yeah, I wanted them to do it in a different country. That's what I would have wanted, because it's just the story, the plot, the structure does not work. Like I said before, I think it's a film like Van Forstig that has a first act, a very long first act, and then a third act. There is no second act, in my opinion. It just doesn't happen. It's like the first half of the movie is Belle Rev and, you know, the backstories. Second half of the story is the mission. And that can work, that's fine, honestly, if you make the structure actually build between that, but it doesn't. It's just like, we're in a helicopter now, we're on the way to the mission. Oh, is this when the mission starts? Does it feel like it is? And it just... Man. What did you, I mean, ultimately, considering the act structure, the plot, the story, the dialogue, give me your ultimate take. How did you ultimately feel?
Okay. Alright, the first act has problems. There's loads of problems, but I at least kind of get a feel of what film I'm going into. Like, a lot of people are praising the soundtrack of this film, but the thing is, the soundtrack only appears in like the first act, disappears for a good long while, and then appears right back at the end.
Yeah.
And when it's used well. Like, you have certain songs linking to certain characters, like, you know, Unfortunate Sons for Killer Croc. You've got Sympathy for the Devil for Amanda Waller. Yeah. And, you know, it kind of feels like, I'm getting a cohesive theme for this thing going on. And then you've got, like, you know, quick backstories of the Flash and shit. Did you like how on the nose it was? I didn't. What? How on the nose it constantly was. It was like, we're zooming in on a dark house kind of thing, House of the Rising Sun. We are zooming in on Harley Quinn, You Don't Own Me. We're zooming in, and it's just constantly like, it's so on the nose, and then what happens is it suddenly becomes not on the nose. Like there's some moments where it just comes out of nowhere. And it's like the Eminem song, I liked that inclusion, but because it wasn't really relevant.
like that song Without Me is not relevant there, but it sounds like very Harley poppy, so I was like, cool, there's an example of where you're doing it right.
Yeah.
But then it's, okay, well, why don't we give them 20 seconds of Seven Nation Army because there's a bunch of army guys approaching? No, I'm sorry, that is not right. You're basically just taking a word from the song and being like, army, these guys are in the army. And then you're putting it together and that doesn't work. You gotta think about the song context, especially with Spirit in the Sky. If that's really supposed to be there to indicate that there's a light in the sky, I'm sorry, you're not listening to the song. It's a stupid, I like the song, but it's a stupid fucking religious song, and you're talking about a machine that is being built to kill fucking humans. Those things do not combine, they don't gel, and I just think that the fact that they had to use it so often shows that it was clearly a marketing trick that they just threw in at the end. Like, do you honestly believe that that stuff was in there in that capacity like 6 months ago? I don't think so.
I think a lot of it was added.
Yeah.
But
They probably
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
You know,
I can at least buy it if it makes up for it later on. But
as in like in future installments.
No, for later on in the film. But
But
then, like, honestly, everything before they actually go on the, on the fucking mission.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? Not that. Everything before Joel Kinnaman eats that fucking chicken wing.
Oh god, yeah.
I was okay with it.
It's the chicken wing of death.
But then shit just occurs, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
There's no longer context in the film after that point, is there?
like
It just kind of becomes like sequences. You don't know why they're there. It's always walking through the street and you're like, do we know where we're going? Oh, we're going to that building, okay. Why?
Yeah.
We get there because Amanda's here. She is? Oh, okay.
Actually, speaking of
3
Amanda
helicopters
Waller,
go down, alright, and then it just keeps going and you're like, fuck.
Speaking of Amanda Waller, there is one scene that I don't know why, it's just so stupidly done, but it just stays in my head just for how funny it is.
What?
It's where Joel Kinnaman's just like, behold, the voice of God.
Yeah.
It shows a picture of Amanda Waller on like a fucking iPad.
I didn't mind it so much because those are the comic book lines
Like,
about Amanda Waller that I want to hear. But when they're wrapped in poor lines, it doesn't work. It's like if in Toy Story he said to infinity and beyond, but then straight afterwards started talking about gang rape, and you're just like, well, I like that.
Well, that would be a lot more changeable into a family-friendly film.
I'm thinking I like the Buzz Lightyear line, but it's shrouded in all of this stupid other stuff that's weird in its tone, and it doesn't make me think enough about the comic and appreciate the fact that it's like the comic, because it's not enough like the comic. And I just...
Okay, if I was going to pick one thing that is, honest to God, the worst thing about this film, it's the fact that these bad guys do not feel like bad guys. And it kind of brings in the problems with my feelings of the DCEU in general.
Yeah.
The good guys don't feel like good guys.
No.
The bad guys don't feel like bad guys.
Never.
They've reversed them, and
how
do you do that?
That can be an interesting dynamic to pick apart in movies, to be like, how far are they apart from each other? But the problem is none of these DCEU movies are actually attempting that storyline.
No.
We have not yet seen in Man of Steel, BVS, or Suicide Squad this idea of, ooh, how close are superheroes and supervillains? We don't get that. What you get is superheroes that are very dull and dark and have a lot going on, as superheroes do, and then supervillains that are just completely crazy and let's talk about pentagons and polygons and mathematics. Like, I mean, and that's the problem, that you're giving us quintessential 90s villains. Yeah. Although I loved Zod, I thought Zod was great. But besides that, you're giving us quintessential 90s underdeveloped villains, followed by really overdeveloped superheroes, and it's just like, they're not attempting those story arcs, so we can't possibly give them any fucking credence in going for that. You're right, like, it's just silly how they're all molded into being nothing of value.
And the thing, and the reason why Suicide Squad is so different from any other team isn't just the fact that they're supervillains, it's the fact that they do not get along.
No.
Like, even with teams coming together, like in Avengers and
Guardians and stuff.
And Guardians, they get, they have the hard parts at the beginning and second act.
Yeah.
But by the third act, they've come together. They're a unit. They're a team.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad should not be like that. They should constantly be at each other's throats and not getting along whatsoever. You'll have a few interactions every now and then, but Honestly, it would have worked a lot better
but
if they were fucking die-on villains.
I disagree in the sense that like you can still make it so that they end up coming together every movie, like every mission, in the sense that like they can still team up by the end and be like, oh, I don't hate you that much right now. But then at the beginning of the next movie, you can be like, oh, another mission, like I still hate you and all that shit. But the problem is that this movie attempts to do that, but does it so unsuccessfully. It's crazy.
No,
like,
it says that they're a team.
Yes, but that's what I mean.
But
like,
that's it.
But it doesn't give you any development to enforce that. All you get is El Diablo going, we're family now, Jolo. And it's like, no you're not. Like, I'm sorry, you had one bar scene where like 3 of you spoke and it was really not indicated whether any of you were feeling the emotion. In fact, it seemed like Harley Quinn in the end was scapegoating you out of feeling any emotion, the characters and the audience. Like which was at first, as I say, at first you're interested by that notion, but then it just zips away when Rick Flag enters, so fuck it. But yeah, so I mean, I feel like that development, it's not there. They don't like, they become a team in the end, but as we're saying, like there's no reason for it to be like, there's no character development that indicates that, like like because there's no second act essentially. You don't get that. You get about an hour and 20 to an hour and 30 of these guys at each other's throats or just pissing each other off. And then suddenly it's just like, well, we're all here and we all might die, so super friends. And it's just... No.
Let's go save the world. Why? Why do you want to save the world?
And also, you know, things that I've noticed a lot of other reviewers haven't touched upon something that did piss me off, even the ones that were pissed off. Random things that are inserted into the movie that just do not make canonical sense with what they're trying to say. Probably a hint of, you know, the reshoots and the editing to a degree. For example, when at the end of the 3rd act, when it's like Killer Croc throws the bomb.
Killer Croc
Throws the bomb into the machine, which, because obviously the only way we can defeat it is by throwing a big bomb in it. Throws a bomb at the machine that Enchantress is making. By the way, why didn't Captain Boomerang throw it? Because he's the throwing character, but anyhow, I digress. Killer Croc throws the bomb, and Deadshot gets the gun out, and he's about to shoot it. And then what happens? His daughter appears underneath the gun, looking at him going, don't do it, Daddy, don't shoot, just like she was in the Batman alleyway sequence with Deadshot earlier in the film. And I was thinking, whoa. He needs to shoot this bomb, otherwise the world's over. Why is it now we get this moment of his daughter like, don't shoot? If he doesn't shoot right now, everyone's dead, we're all done. And yet, they throw that in the movie and then have him go, and then shoot the fucking gun. And I was just thinking like, if you're trying to say that this is like, you know the way Deadshot says when he leaves the bar, I'm going to finish this mission, I'm going to drag you if I have to, because my daughter's going to know I'm not an asshole, because she's going to hear about all of this, which obviously you're never going to because it's the Suicide Squad. But I was thinking, okay, maybe what they were trying to accomplish in that moment with his daughter was like I'm no longer going to be an asshole. But to do that, you throw in the moment where she says don't shoot, whilst he's about to shoot something that will save the world. Like, once again, this is just, look at how depressed his face is, look at how depressed my face is. This is playground shit that you should learn on your
Suicide
first
Squad
days.
made me suicidal, so I guess it's working.
Oh my word! Like, it just doesn't make sense. And
see,
honestly,
the worst thing about that scene,
I've not heard any other reviewer mention that moment, and it's really pissing me off because I think they've just forgotten it because it's such a forgettable movie, but it's so bad.
Yeah, the worst thing about that scene is that you could have easily fixed it by inserting it in another scene, where Amanda Waller tells Deadshot to shoot fucking Harley Quinn.
Yeah, and then the daughter comes along and then you can be like, you know,
because with that, at least we can kind of buy the bullshit that they're fucking friends now. Whereas this time it's just like, oh yeah.
Exactly, because that would have killed 2 birds with 1 cock, because like basically like then it would have been a case of, you would have not only inserted the daughter thing to be there for a reason, but also now you can see how the team are becoming to like each other, because they're becoming to like each other over their hatred of Amanda Waller. But that doesn't happen. They don't get to do that, and it just ruins it full force. But yeah, so I would say that this film has like 20 to 25 minutes at the beginning where you can be like, okay, the mistakes that are being made right now are fine. I can get over that if this progresses into something, and you're like, oh, this could be something special. And then it just off the fucking deep end. And I feel like just like Batman v Superman, The theatrical cut, I mean, yeah, like, the first 10 minutes of that theatrical cut are pretty, like, the problems that you have with that first 10 minutes are pretty minimal. It's like, oh, why didn't they go down an alley? Why are they in the middle of the street? It's like, oh, well, I mean, did it have to be this slow? Did we have to get the alleyway sequence straight away? But ultimately, you know, the Metropolis sequence with Ben Affleck running through the streets is fantastic. And then it just dips and it's like, wait, what is this story? Where's the through line? But as I think the Ultimate Cut does a better job of telling that story, this film just doesn't have a through line, just like the BVS theatrical cut. It takes longer to go off the deep end, but it eventually does go off the deep end. And like Dan Murrell said on the Screen Junkie Summer Movie Report, like, when this film is bad, it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
Like...
It isn't even just bad, it's like really fucking
diabolical bad. Like, it just so upsetting. And I really do want to say that, you know, it upsets me a little that there are a lot of DC fans online that are just like, oh, why are you guys shitting on it so much? Like, I mean, didn't you guys have fun? I had fun with this movie. Look, what I want to say to that ideal-minded person, if any of them are actually watching this show, and, you know, your opinion's your own, like, fucking, you know, do what you want, but, I mean, don't you want better DC films? I do. I mean, these are characters that I love. Let's be honest here. I mean, we do the Marvel vs. DC podcast, but I don't think there's any question that we think DC's comics and DC's volumes and lineups are way better. Like, their stories, I do at least. And I love Marvel comics, but I think DC has way better stories. They have way better, like, character arcs a lot of the time. I prefer it, and that's why it pisses me off that these films aren't up to scratch. Like, Mad Love, completely butchered in Suicide Squad, just completely. You know, the Dark Knight Returns, arguably butchered pretty hard as well in Batman vs Superman, because of how they do not give you enough indication of Batman going off the deep end to kill people and stuff, and how it would make sense. It really, they're taking this source material. Well, no, they're not taking the source. That's the point. They are looking at the source and go, oh, is that Mad Love? It's about...
picking out an iconic bit from the comic and then just slapping going.
And then just doing whatever they want with it. Like, and it really upsets me that, like, they have such a great, like, wealth of fucking, like, volumes upon volumes of great stuff, and they're not using it. And so I just want to say to any of those DC fans, like, surely you can see past the bullshit that this is not just an enjoyable romp you can have fun with. This is supposed to be Suicide Squad. You're supposed to expect a well-rounded, just good film. And I'm sorry, but that is not what this is.
Yeah, and to those saying, like, oh, yeah, but they're just starting up, Marvel have had, like, a head start. Okay, dudes. I'm a Marvel fanboy, like, straight up. I fucking love Marvel more than DC. DC has great shit in it, but I'm Marvel through and through.
Fair dues.
But the thing is, we can't be pulling our punches just because the kid's fucking behind. Like, everyone's going to get the same fucking treatment. I'm not going to give any special certificates for participating here.
Exactly. I mean, at this point...
We've got fucking standards.
Yeah. At this point in the Marvel Universe, we were staring past, you know, we had Iron Man, which was just a fantastic opening film.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2 actually came straight afterwards. That was the first one to come afterwards, wasn't it? Iron Man 2, which wasn't as good, but for like 100 minutes of that movie, it was dope. It was just suffered from being pretty bad in the ending. But still, like, it was just, you know, it was okay. Then you had, I thought Captain America the First Avenger, obviously that was the last one. But I thought that was a great film. I really liked that film, and there are people who are divisive about it, but Thor, which was a decent film, and Incredible Hulk, which was just kind of, people don't even like mention it in the universe anymore, but it was okay, it was serviceable. But these films ultimately, like, when you say things you don't like about them, it's just like, it's nitpicks. It's like, oh, well, to be honest,
when there's bad things about it, you have a bunch of good things about it.
They didn't butcher any of the storylines, they didn't butcher any of the characters, they didn't butcher the universe. The problem ultimately is that the DCEU has not had a powerhouse all-round epic film yet. They have not had an Iron Man or an Avengers, and obviously the Justice League is coming up, so they'll have their moments, and you know, we're going to give them their due till that point. But how many times am I going to have to go to the pictures and see a DCEU film and say to myself afterwards, well, maybe the next one I'll get it right? Because I'm losing patience. Like, I thought Suicide Squad was the one that was going to course correct all of this. And I was optimistic after the Ultimate Cut of BVS. It was better for me. But this film, it just didn't. It lowered my expectation. Like, it was so poor. And now, you know, I'm worried about Wonder Woman. and what that will tell. And I've got a while to wait until that comes along. But I mean, maybe that's a good thing why we do these videos together, because I'm more of a DC fanboy.
Yeah.
Like I am. But I value honesty more than anything, and I will be honest that these films, they aren't up to scratch. Considering the wealth of great fucking source material that is out there, they're not sending us their best manuscripts. Yeah.
I fucking hate these films with a passion.
Exactly.
And that passion is dying.
DC are not sending us their best people. They're sending rapists and murderers.
He's climbing in your windows.
Yes, and we need to build a wall around the DCEU and make David S. Goyer pay for it, because fuck him. And yes, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Do you think now that Jeff Johns is like heavily involved in the universe in a much better capacity because of his promotion recently, that this could actually be optimistic for the future? I mean,
yes and no. Yes, because it's fucking Jeff Johns.
Yeah, Jeff Johns is fantastic. Love him.
No, because he pretty much was doing the same shit, just not with the title. Like, he was pretty much running that fucking show altogether.
You think? I mean, he didn't have as much of it as
like,
I mean, Zack Snyder did run BVS.
Yeah. Where Zack Snyder was the dude running the film, he was the dude who was like, you know, the golden child, like, in Jeff Johns We Trust.
Yeah, but I mean, he did not have as much involvement with BVS though, and Suicide Squad. Like Suicide Squad more so, like towards the end, but not until towards the end. And you know, Wonder Woman's already in post, but he can affect that a fair bit. I just hope that he can, you know, he can bring something to this now that we need.
Hopefully, because this ship is sinking.
Yeah, because I'm as a DC fan, I'm not satisfied, and I really hope that, you know, any of you DC fans as well feel the same as me, because we do deserve better. Like these films should be great, because the material is great, and the history is great, and the characters and the stories are awesome. And yet we're just getting bad films back to back, and I'm not happy about it. Like the fact that we have to wait till Wonder Woman now is another downer, because it's a long time until we get to answer that question, till next July. But yeah. We'll go deeper into the state of the DCEU on a episode of High Time We Talk About, coming soon. But yes, in the meantime, I think we've touched upon pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything else that stood out to you in the film?
Let's wrap it up. Gigawatt counter.
Well, before we do, very quickly, do you think that Warner Brothers should not have stepped in, and that we should have got David Ayers' darker cut that he initially planned, the one that was planned all along? Or do you think it was a good idea to bring in that trailer company to edit the film? Would you have preferred to see his original cut?
A word to DC. Whoever edited this fucking film...
We know who it is, Trailer Park Company.
Dude, keep those motherfuckers away from anything.
They're great with trailers, but...
Trailers great.
Are not
films,
movies.
no. You do not let them talk. You find them in there... in the fucking middle of the night, just like, hell yeah, I'm just gonna splice a few things here. You come in, you fucking kill him.
Kill him, like
you kill that motherfucker.
Put a motherfucker in a square on a cross, burn that motherfucker.
Dump him in the sea with fucking meteorites attached to his fucking heels.
Exactly.
God fucking damn it.
You wanna say we don't revolve around the sun? Fucking kill you. That's what
Pieces of shit.
But yes, don't do that ever again, because it was fucking stupid. And don't trust test audiences. I'm sorry, test audiences are not... When it comes to these films, that is not what you want to go for, because let's be perfectly honest here. You're not always going to get people who know what the fuck they're talking about regarding the source material of the film. And also, you make someone watch a movie and then immediately give them a slip and say what was good and bad. Like, they're just going to force themselves to say something. Those who enjoyed it are going to be like, well fuck, what's it now? Like, I guess that one tiny thing was kind of iffy, but it's not going to be something that they actually thought was bad, but you're forcing them to say that, and that's how we get this mishmash of David Ayers, and Trailer Park Company's cut, and it just, I'm sorry, it's ridiculous, like, but yes, that is, I wanted to see his cut. I hope we do get to see it, but I don't think we will get to see it.
Like, did you really have that much lack of confidence in your film that you're into the third film in this fucking franchise and you still need people to say, oh yeah, that's good?
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how, you know, if it went for Warner Brothers, none of this would have happened. If it went for Warner Brothers stepping in on BVS, cutting out half an hour, If they would have been ballsy,
that is the cycle of how this has happened.
That's the beginning, yes. Like if they would have had the balls to be like, fuck it, we're gonna release a 3-hour movie, that would have been ballsy. I would have loved that. If they didn't step in and take half an hour out of that movie, then the reviews probably wouldn't have been as harsh, and then they wouldn't have been taken aback as much to want to jump on Suicide Squad and be like, oh, we got to make this less dull and less dark.
Yeah.
And then the BVS cut probably would have did well, and then Suicide Squad probably would have done well as well. So basically, they've caused this catalyst upon themselves, where their initial mistake, kind of like Amanda Waller, has proven to then become their second mistake by applying more fucking pressure. I think the lesson Kevin Sugihara needs to learn from this is leave them alone. I know that you left Zack Snyder alone on BVS and you thought to yourself, fuck, you fucked it up. But I'm sorry, one time doesn't define it all. Leave them alone. Let your filmmakers and your writers
let them have a go.
Make the movie they want to make. Just take a chance on them, because this is what it's about. Filmmakers are supposed to bring their film to it, not the film you and them combined and collaborated on. Christopher Nolan's films are Christopher Nolan's films. Joel Schumacher's films, for what they're worth, are his films, alright? And I'm sure there's more corporate aspects to those films as well, because he probably wanted it. But I'm saying that filmmakers need to be able to just show you who they are, and David Ayers did not get to do that with this film, and it upsets me. So, Warner Brothers and Kevin Sugihara, we haven't reported, let's just elaborate, we haven't reported on the story of the whistleblower from Warner Brothers out of basic respect, because we don't know if it's true. Like, we don't want to report on just stupid shit like that. Yeah. Like, we're not going to until it's confirmed. If it is confirmed, then we got problems. But until then, Kevin Sugihara and Warner Brothers, stay the fuck out. Just let them do their thing.
Yeah, the pressure's not going to make these films any better, guys.
No, absolutely not. Fuck. Didn't help Vanilla Ice. It's not going to help you. So, yes. That said, you said gigawatt count.
Yeah.
Where would you actually go here? I'm interested in what ballpark here. I know where I am, but where are you?
See, the problem is that this isn't even like god awfully offensive to me. It's just forgettable.
Yeah.
Like everything leading up to this, and the fact that it's this boring, it's honestly like the new Avatar. Like, and for that, I don't think it even deserves like that lowest score. It's maybe a 4.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah, that's where I'm going, because like it isn't even like enjoyably bad like Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you should say 4 gigawatts, because that's exactly where I went. It's what I rated on IMDb as well. 4 gigawatts out of 10. I would go against you on the point though that like the forgettableness made you think, well, I mean, it's not that bad because it's just forgettable. Or not that offensive, sorry. I kind of did find the fact that it was so forgettable offensive, because
that is kind of like a double-edged. Is it worse because of that?
Because or not, yeah. It's based on your opinion, ultimately, but mine, because of these characters and how excited I was and how great the source material really is, I was just, the fact that they gave us a generic by-the-numbers, just fucking play-by-play comic book movie really pissed me off, and it really offended me, because this could have been something so much more, and they decided not to do that. Whether that's the edit and whether that's David Ayers' direction, whether that's the company, I don't know. We probably may never find out, but there was something wrong here, and whoever did it knows what they were doing. And so that brings it to a 4 gigawatts for me too. I think I would really only go 4 because I want to see more of Joker and Harley. I always say jokey. Joker and Harley. Jokey. Bobby. I feel like I want to see more of them. I want to see the characters explore more so I can formulate my opinion more. I think Will Smith did fine. I think it suffered from a lot of things, filmmaking things, like 6 weeks to write the script, the editing debacle. But ultimately, yes, it's just not a good film in my opinion. It doesn't deserve a 5 or a 6, because a 6 I think would just be like, at least it was a movie. Yeah, at least it was a movie. Like, for example, I'd give the extended cause of BVS like a 7 or an 8, honestly. Whereas this film 4, absolutely 4. I hope to see these characters on a different mission. Like we said before, the mission is the ultimate problem. I like the cast of characters, but they just...
Yeah, the plot itself is...
Yeah. Man. I feel like I'd like to see these characters again in future installments, whether it's cameos or whatnot. But
regardless of whether they had like little screen time or not, these characters still, they had something.
They had charisma in some way.
Like there's moments when you're watching this film and you're like, there's a good film trying to break out of this, and then it's just bombarded with monotony.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking sad.
It is, it's very sad, but I guess that wraps it up, I suppose. We've given our gigawatt count, we told you the basic gist of what we think about the movie. What did you think about the movie? Let us know in the comments below, because we're interested, even if, like, don't think we're going to scapegoat on your fucking, opinion because you liked it. Like, we want to know what you thought if you genuinely liked it.
No, like, one of the most frustrating things of waiting this long is the fact that I've seen people giving it good reception, and they're not really going into why.
Yeah.
They're just saying this part's good, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got honest to God good moments, please let me know.
Yeah.
Because I am very fucking depressed that I do not like this.
Also,
film.
anything you disagree with us on, let us know, because we like to have little, debates and the arguments and discussions. So fuck it, let's do it. Let's talk. Like humans.
I don't want to talk no more.
So this was our Suicide Squad coverage. Hopefully in future we get to see these characters do something a little more interesting, but not a great attempt. Coming up soon will be our first two High Time We Talk About videos, our topic videos, where Pete's going to be talking about, what was it again? The Christopher Nolan universe?
Yeah, Christopher Nolan universe.
Is
it perfect?
Is the Christopher Nolan universe perfect? I'll be talking about the state of the DCEU post-Suicide Squad. So keep an eye out for those videos. Let us know what you think about them. Please like and subscribe. And as I say, talk in the comments. Let us know whatever you think. And also, when Pete does release our first High Time We Talk About video, he's going to be doing a competition where we're going to be giving away some Suicide Squad posters.
What's going to happen is we're going to ask you guys to give us a subject on Marvel, DC, or in general.
Yes.
And the one that kind of catches our eyes, or is the one that shines the diamond in the rough. We'll pick that as like the next subject and give it a little go.
Send you out a free poster, and we'll do a video based on your topic.
Yeah. It's not a very good sales pitch if we're shitting on this film and asking if they want a fucking poster.
People like this movie somewhere.
But dude, look, cereal.
Look,
that is creative marketing.
They're nice posters. If you want one of these posters, just get ready, get locked and loaded in the comments section. So yes, until then, I have been Patrick Smith.
I've been Peter Harrison.
You can catch us on the Marvel vs. DC podcast weekly, but until then, goodbye chaps. Hope you've enjoyed our Suicide Squad coverage.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Let's hope next time is a nicer time.
Let's hope next time isn't a waste of fucking money.
I've always loved you.
Get out of my life!
Get out of my life!
Bullshit!
It's bullshit.
All of it.